Hello, this is Mark Rollins from the Geek Church, and I have kind of a special message for you guys today. And it's not really about anything. I probably could have done this at any given time, but the timing of this particular day, which is September 23rd, 2020, marks a particular landmark that most people don't know about. And it's actually the 22nd, but hey, I wanted to get I want to get this out a little early. Basically, this is going to be hard to explain. When I was a kid reading comic books in 1984, there's going to be some irony on this a little bit later. I read this one comic book that was called Machine Man. Now, I'm not going to be one of those types on the internet or YouTube that can talk about comic books very well. I used to read them. I don't read them anymore. I stopped in about 1990. However, this comic that came out in 1984 stuck with me because it took place in the year 2020. And the plot was that Machine Man, who's essentially this robot that is designed to look like a human and even pass as a human, has somehow been shut off in our time, which would have been 1984 or the 80s somewhere. And he wakes up in the year 2020 to find that the world has changed for the worse. And by the worse, I am not going to talk about COVID-19, although I am going to get to that. But in the sense that it is a very dystopian-looking, kind of cyberpunk-looking Blade Runner-y type of world. And in this world of Machine Man 2020, robots are essentially not really outlawed, but apparently there was some sort of time where robots were made, but people got afraid of them. And so this one company called Banetronics got a monopoly on them. And Banetronics is run by a woman named Sunset Bane, who was Machine Man's worst enemy. And what happened was she was the one who stole Machine Man, shut him off, and then essentially reverse engineered the blueprints from him. So she would have this like perfect robot technology franchise. And so as a result, she became the world's richest woman. And the story of Machine Man is about how Machine Man and his new friends, who are these kind of band of people, they call themselves the Midnight Wreckers. And and this story gets really far out. But here's the thing. In 2020, it has the usual science fiction future sort of conventions. That is flying vehicles, near sentient robots, all that kind of stuff. And I bring this up because the story itself begins on September 23rd, 2020, which is today. This reminds me of like a few years ago, back when people kept saying like, today is this day, 2015, that Marty and Doc go back or go into the future. And that got overplayed terribly. Like people would just randomly select a date and they'd say, today's the day. And it was like, no, I mean, this was happening like in 2013. And they were saying like, today's the day Doc and Marty go forward in time. And, they didn't. It was 2015. Anyone can remember that. If you've seen the movie, you remember that. And so it's I kind of have that sort of feeling of nostalgia that I have when 2015 and the day that Marty and Doc actually do go forward in time is kind of coming forward to me. Because I think back in 1984, and there's a serious irony here. The fact that George Orwell wrote 1984 and predicted a dystopia then is hysterical, considering that in 1984 they predicted a dystopia in 2020. Trust me, the world of Machine Man looks just grimy and disgusting. And yet, this is what I'm going to talk about. Most people today hate 2020. And you know what? This is a long intro to something that I'm probably not going to talk about for too long. But I am sick of it. I am sick of people complaining about how bad 2020 is. I am really tired of it. And I understand this is just me shouting out to the internet ether saying, stop this. And I know the memes are not going to stop generating. I know that I'm like I mentioned Back to the Future earlier. I'm really tired of seeing that one where Doc is sitting in his time machine telling Marty, whatever you do, don't go to the year 2020. I'm really tired of that one. I really am. And I'm really tired of seeing people post something negative and saying, like, this is something related to 2020. I just was on Facebook and I saw somebody say, like, this is a hula hoop in the year 2020, and it was like a ring of barbed wire. I get it here. Okay, I do. This year, of course, has not been very easy for me, but it has not been. I mean, what year? I have to look back at my life and go, what year hasn't had its share of struggles? Now, I understand what you're probably going to say next. COVID-19 is not just your average struggle. Yes, it is a disease that I know has killed over 200,000 people in America. And for that, I can only say there is nothing I can say that can take your pain away if you've lost a loved one. I know what it's like to lose someone really important to you. I've lost my best friend about 10 years ago. It hurts. All those people that are faced with COVID-19 casualties, they are hurting right now. These are the people that you need to be talking to and the people you need to be reaching out to. It's not helping to put stuff online that says, this is how bad 2020 is. Okay, we all know this. All right? It was just like a few months ago when toilet paper was starting to become scarce. Did it help to put up pictures of empty shelves in grocery stores? Did it help to make jokes about how you can't get toilet paper? Did it help? Here's the deal. Eventually we got enough toilet paper now. I work at Walmart myself, and so I know that it was scarce, but now it's like, well, we have much of it in stock. I can't speak to the future of what COVID-19 is going to be. Okay, I can't say that I would love to say that there's going to come a time where we're not going to wear masks anymore. I would love to say that, but I can't. This new mask might be just our new reality, and we might have to just live like that until 2021 or 2025, whatever. Either way, please be sensitive on what you're posting about 2020, because there are people that are experiencing the worst of it, and you're not helping. All right? And I understand that, honestly, I'll bet you would probably want the future world shown in Machine Man, which had a bunch of great and cool sci-fi technology stuff. And Iron Man was there. Yeah, Iron Man was in that Machine Man comic. I think it was like Tony Stark's grandson. So guess what? I don't know. Tony Stark was dead, so I guess it's just like today, I guess. Let me tell you something about 2020. I understand that bad things have happened. We just experienced the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and that's very sad. I mean, I understand she did a lot to help out a lot of great causes, and it's sad that we lost someone like that. Please don't blame a year on that, okay? Here's the thing. I'm not going to say like she was old and that was it, because here's the thing. Time catches up to all of us, no matter who we are, all right? This is what happens. I don't know what the future is going to hold for us here in 2020, but I can say this, that we are not ever going to be guaranteed a time when all things are good or when all things are normal. We are never guaranteed that time. If you think that this year is so bad, I can rest assured you there are several years in history that were even worse. So please note that every time you talk about how bad 2020 is, please. I know there's been a lot of going on in this country due to racial tensions, the George Floyd situation, for example. I will have to say that a lot of these situations that are going down now, where people are in protest, and even some of the more violent ones that are going down, I can't help but think that that is somewhat of a good thing, because honestly, I think it's time that people learned, listen, don't you overdo your job and punish black people for crimes that they have not committed. That is just simply good manners. And if we haven't learned that, and we need to learn it the violent way, then that is what's going to have to happen. I don't know any other way to say that. I know a lot of people are upset because of Donald Trump being in office. I wish that honestly, I will have to say honestly that I don't like him. I never really have. Even from the 80s, he put on he established this standard of being a ruthless businessman that he has never quit. I don't understand how people can follow him. So I want him out of the White House as much as you do, maybe. I can't understand why you follow him. If you do, I guess you need to go with your convictions. But honestly, he may win the next election, and if he does, we will have to deal with that. And I can't say that I can blame him for COVID-19. I wish I could. I wish I could just simply just demonize him and say like it's because like COVID-19 is the plague that's sort of happening because he is in office and God is not pleased. But I cannot say that. I just simply can't. There are many things that are going on in this world. Perhaps this is a year where things do come to a head and they do start changing. And if so, you do have to go through the bad in order to get to the good. This is how this works. So I'm going to make a suggestion. Please stop complaining about how bad 2020 is. Stop posting about it. Stop talking about it. Instead, reach out to those who are in need. That's what you can do. And I guarantee you will feel better after you do that. Because when you feel bad about something that's happening in your own life, best thing you can do is help somebody else. And chances are, I guarantee you are going to feel a lot better about yourself afterwards. And yeah, if that means helping someone to help yourself is selfish, well, maybe you should help someone and don't expect anything in return. That's the hardest part. Anyway, I believe I've said enough as it is, and I'll let this go. So, have a good day, because honestly, that's pretty much what I can say.